All right, looks like we're good. It's been a while since I've done a live stream. I had to figure out how to remember everything and get back on here, get everything set up. So I apologize if there's any delays, anything looking weird there at the beginning as I got my settings where I want them to be. Listen, I don't know how many people are going to show up. As I mentioned in a video, I think it was yesterday morning. Friday morning, and in a couple of videos for members. I just wanted to take this opportunity to talk about upcoming year 2 for this channel. What I would like to do to help men to get more content, more facts, more support to them. And to that end, I would plan on sharing some of that information. We'll wait a couple of minutes to see if we get a couple of people to show up. Hopefully it should be live for people. I have no idea what to expect. Maybe it's just a few people, and maybe this will just be an announcement that I make all by myself. I have no idea. But for those of you, if you are new to my channel, to my content, my name is Todd. I'm an author, a research psychologist working in higher education for quite some time. I'm an advocate for men and going through some of the struggles that I did for quite some time. I've always, been very interested in using my passions, my knowledge, my resources, my curiosity to find ways to help guys. I'm going to have to lean in here once in a while to check the messages, because the comments, because my eyes are not as good as they used to be. But a couple of guys, hey, welcome back. Wilma, thank you. I see you commenting on nearly every video that I do at least once. So thank you for your membership. And X Bravo, I hope that's right. Welcome both of you. Hello. I don't know how long this is going to go. I have a lot of announcements that I do want to make, a lot of changes coming to this channel. And just for a little bit of perspective, by the way, if anybody here is, whether it's live or after the recording is posted, if you stumbled in here, you're welcome to watch. I don't know how interesting it's going to be if you're not already familiar with some of my channel or its content, my message, or anything like that. But here, let me start with this. Let me just kind of back up just a little bit. And if I'm looking around, it's because I got my notes up here. I don't want to miss anything. So I started this channel nearly 1 year ago. I think it was June 8th, something like that. June 5th, June 12th was 1 year ago when I posted my real content video. I think I put 1 or 2 things up there, just kind of like testing and getting used to, see what it's all about. So that was about a week away from 1 year right now. Good evening. Who just came in? Sorry, again, I don't know if I can... I'm going to try to see if I can pull those comments in a little bit closer, but yes. So when I started this channel, I had been wanting to do men's content, men's support, giving resources and information, again, using my strengths in background in education, psychology, research for quite some time. I'm talking probably 10 years, maybe closer to 15. As I finished grad school in 2014, my immediate concern was, of course, getting a job. I had 3 daughters that were tweens at the time. So I kind of put a lot of it on hold. It never lost interest in it, anything like that. But last year, I just came to the realization that if anything were ever to happen to my employment or to my industry, my career, anything like that, I'd be proper fucked. So I took that urgency along with my interest in my passion. I said, you know what, I've got to start, doing what I'm passionate about. So confessions, you can see right back here, I finally published that, put that into print. I drafted rules of engagement. I'm going to talk about this here in just a little bit because I haven't talked about rules of engagement in quite some time, but I have some substantial plans for it coming up. So I learned a lot about men's content, what men want, what they respond to, a lot of what my content brings and presents. I've learned a lot of that in the last year. The channel is growing at, I would say, an acceptable pace for me. Of course, we always wish that, that things would move a little bit quicker. And guys, let me know if the volume is okay. I think I just clicked a button here right now. Let me know. Somebody give me confirmation that you can hear me. The volume is okay. and that I didn't actually turn the volume off for some reason. This route seems better, Doc, since it's now... Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Getting it off 1099 child support. Listen, I'm probably more honest than I should be when it comes to things with filing taxes and things like that. But absolutely, there are so many benefits to doing this, and that's one of the things that I'll be talking about in maybe a little bit today, but certainly in members' videos as well. So the channel is moving at a pace that I'm not dissatisfied with. I'll talk a little bit about. In fact, let me just bring this out right now. In anticipation of year 2, and those of you who are members in watching right now, I've already made this kind of semi-announcement that so leading into year 2, I was already starting to plan for the last couple of weeks. Okay, now what progress can we make? We've learned a lot. What can we do to increase outputs and resources and information and supports for guys? So I had been doing that. My position at my where I was working was eliminated just a few days ago. And I'll be honest, I am not disappointed at all. Now I get to put in 100% of my time. I was doing, on top of my full-time job, probably at least 30 hours a week into my content. Now I can take those 40 plus the 30. I can put 70 hours a week into this stuff and not get bored. So I've actually added on to some of my goals and things that I want to make available for guys into year 2. So that's a lot about what this is going to be. So I hope that's not too long-winded, but that's kind of the precipice of what my plans and goals for this channel are. So yeah, what I want to do is take this from a passion project into more of a serious content business. Again, one of those things will be making some changes to the YouTube membership, to Patreon, and to Substack. Let's start with those 3 things. I think what I'm going to do is give each of those 3 just the same 1-month membership at probably something like $7. For a while, the content between the 3 of those platforms will be overwhelmingly the same material until I get my workflow down, right? So I'll put these videos up here on YouTube. Anybody can watch it. If you want to support as a member, you can get the benefits that come along with that as well. Obviously, it supports the channel, supports my efforts to reach more guys. I'll likely put some of the same content on Patreon, at least for a little while. That there will be ad-free. So if you want the ad-free experience, you can get it on Patreon. That will also give you the push messages and the email messages. So if you don't want to get on the platform itself, just go through your email, whatever, and you can watch there. And similarly on Substack, I've already posted, I think, one, but I have many scripts, articles ready to be posted on Substack. That content will be entirely article written form, but again, it's going to be a lot of the same content between all 3 of the platforms until I can get everything established and moving forward. And I'm happy to take questions. Let me see here. I don't see anything new, but I want to see if I can at least make this bigger. Let me bring you guys over here. Hold on one second. Just bringing you down here on my other monitor. I know people who just stumbled into this are probably like, who's this freak? What's this moron talking about? Doesn't even know how to use a camera. So those are my goals with those 3 different things. Here's what's not going to change. I am not going to stop doing as much research and putting as much dedication into my content. One of the things that I love about doing this channel and having it and the viewers and your comments is what separates me is not just men's content, but it's not the same watered down stuff or agitated stuff that so many channels provide. There are some channels out there that I will watch. I'll find and think, oh gosh, this is really interesting. Maybe this is going to be a good channel for me to keep tabs on and watch some of their content. And then I watch, I don't know, 6 or 7 over the course of a couple of weeks, and I realize they're just talking about the same stuff every time, and I don't want to do that. So what's not going to change is I am not going to start doing reactions. I'm not going to just start throwing shit out just to have daily content. By the way, so my plan is probably near daily, maybe 6 videos a day. For a few months, I've been putting out Sunday, Wednesday, maybe Tuesday, Sunday, Tuesday, and then Friday. So 3 a week had been my limit, but now I'm planning on probably do 6, maybe sometimes all 7 days a week. But yeah, I think what really separates my content from others is the dives, the time I'm willing to invest into a single video. Some of those Sunday videos takes me 20 hours. It's not been uncommon for me to put 20 hours into a single 19 to 30 minute Sunday deep dive. So none of the content will change. There's just going to be more of it, and I would like for those Sunday dives to be the flagship of the channel. Let's see. Talked about Substack a little bit, YouTube memberships. Guys, give me some questions. I did have a couple of prompts on here, but those of you who are here, give me some suggestions. Think that you might like to see. I offer this out to my to subscribers once in a while, and their feedback has been good. I've actually done a couple of videos from comments and subscribers. Sometimes I am not aware of issues or topics. Like this last one that I did just about a week ago on Josh Hudson and divorce recovery. That came from. In fact, I think maybe he was not even a member at the time, but has since become a member. I got that idea, that topic, from somebody who'd left a comment. So I had never heard of it before. I was fascinated, and so yeah, anything. Let me know what you guys are interested. I will do my best to accommodate. Of course, I do want to give people what they want to know more about, or something to be broken down even deeper, without compromising my own interests and my values. So I hope that makes sense. One other thing, I see this once in a while, and I don't want to make this any kind of a sales pitch or anything like that. In fact, I've had phone calls or video calls with several viewers, subscribers, and other people in the last few months. And one of the common things that I've heard from several of them is an appreciation that I don't ask for likes and subscribes. I don't ask people to share my content. Rarely do I mention memberships. Usually, if I do, it's just as a thank you to those people who are supporting the channel. And one of the reasons that I don't want to do that is I want this to be a space where people can come and not get 2 minutes of why they should be doing all of those things. I trust my viewers and my subscribers to know that if content is meaningful, they'll subscribe. If they want to come back, they will. And if not, that's just as well. In fact, I would rather have them make that decision on their own than something to appease me, or hey, let's give Todd a sub here. I might not ever come back, but at least he's got a subscriber. In fact, my understanding is if rumors are correct, YouTube has started making a really big correction. Again, my understanding from what I've heard in the last couple of years, in that sub counts are not nearly as important as they used to. Now it's watch time, it's click-through rate, and in average view duration, AVD. So the best way is, if you do really want to help the channel to reach more people, again, my understanding is watching videos from beginning to end. Mine typically, a lot of them typically around 7 to 12 minutes, and then I've got a fair amount also that's anywhere between 19 and 30 minutes or something like that. But that's why I don't ask for subscribers and things like that. Y'all are intelligent to know to do that if you want to. And I don't want a bunch of people here that are just going to click on and then leave, never come back. That's actually bad for a channel. X Bravo, what men's problems are you covering for this live stream? I'm actually not going to cover any men's problems in this stream. I thought about maybe let's put a couple of topics together that I could talk about, but I'm going to save those. I don't want to go gloss over anything in a stream like this. I am considering doing about a monthly live stream. I don't know that streaming will ever be a regular part of any of my plan. I do enjoy doing it. It's a good benefit for some people. In fact, I don't know if I'm going to embarrass myself here or not. We've got 16 people here right now, and I'm satisfied with that. It would grow after a while. But anyway, back to the question. I didn't want to dilute any content in overlapping it with this conversation. I will give you a heads up that tomorrow's conversation, the Sunday deep dive, it's not the huge research deep dive tomorrow that I'll be putting out, but I will be speaking about AI, large learning models, and how it's affecting men's employment and their job security, specifically for men and in the larger, broader labor markets. So that's what tomorrow's topic is going to be. Again, some of this comes from my recent personal experience. It's something I've been wanting to talk about for a while. Economics is not my expertise by any means, but I think there are some very important implications for guys. AI, what it's doing at the job markets. So that's tomorrow's topic. DB5000000. Hey everyone, hiding from your wife at the toilet so you can watch this. Oh, I don't need that in my brain. I don't need that. Mr. International, hello. Thanks everybody for being here, even if you are in the loo, in the John, hiding from your wife. Hope you got some headphones on. So yeah, if there's anything that you guys want to see more of, I'm actually pleasantly surprised. There's sometimes when I do research review articles, like I think it was yesterday's, I think Thursday. Now I'm my days are all mixed up. In which I review a research article. You know, I'll talk about the authors, the research design, the measures they use, and then what it means for men in the larger, broader landscape of academia and whatever else. I'm pleasantly surprised that those typically get very good responses. So if that's some more you'd like to see, let me know. Just type one of these little things, whatever, research reviews, advice or critique, advice or critiques. I try to put some type of, not necessarily advice. I don't really like giving guys advice. My approach, a lot of times, what I like to do is give guys the facts. I'll give my context and my own personal commentary on it, but then let guys make their decisions on what they want to do. But if advice kinds of stuff, I'm certainly happy to do that, with the caveat that I am not a therapist. I'm not a coach. I have had calls. You know, I do speak with guys once in a while individually. Divorce and fatherhood, I don't focus, or I haven't been on that for quite some time, but that is a huge interest of mine, and there's so much, whether it's research, policy, laws, social commentaries, whatever, around divorce and fatherhood. I'm certainly more happy to do a lot of that. Other than basic demographics that YouTube gives me, I don't know, what guys are coming here. I mean, I could look in the videos and see how many videos or how many subscribers come from every video, but it's hard for me to gauge why specifically people are here and why they stay. Also, another thing, if you have any comments on the shorter videos, and by that I mean like 8 to 10 minutes. It's in the work that I do and the content that I give, it's really hard for me to do anything that's less than 7 or 8 minutes. I just can't do anything justice well enough long that's shorter than that. So typically, my average short ones are 9 to 14 minutes. On the longer end, they might be 24 to 30. Oh, just kidding. Are you not really on the loo? Xbravo says, I have to disagree. AI isn't going to take jobs unless it's repetitive tasks. Even then, maintenance is required. I use so-called AI for my work, and it's helpful. Yeah, that's actually kind of what I'm going to talk about a little bit tomorrow. Xbravo is, I don't know how much I want to break it down right now. AI is not necessarily going to, or HR is not going to walk into your office and say, hey, listen, we got this AI thing over here right now. So we're going to now make it do everything you've been doing, and we don't want you anymore, so go home. It's a little bit more nuanced than that. But yeah, no, I totally see what you're saying. And if you tune in tomorrow for tomorrow's video, X Bravo, I do offer a little bit of a counterpoint for that as well. And listen, I mean, the truth is with AI, especially in men's jobs, I think with men, it's a little bit more different than with women. Okay, if we just generally, stereotypically generalize men's versus women's jobs, women are in the offices more, right? They're doing the non-labor type things. So in some ways, it's going to affect guys differently than women. I do offer some commentary in that about what makes it unique for guys. I don't know if I'm just going off on a tangent right now. AI is going to take all jobs. You're delusional, guys. I don't know about all jobs. Again, as I mentioned just a little bit ago, I'm not going to get into this right now. I'll mention it a little bit. It'll be in tomorrow's Sunday video. The biggest reason I was given for my release a few days ago was overlap of responsibilities. Streamlined or improved processing methods and platforms, things like that. It was that language. So I'll talk a little bit about it in there. But it's going to take us several years. I mean, yeah, it's been really building, exponentially for the last few years. But I don't know, if we have any real good data. We have a lot of data. I don't know how accurate it is for projections or anything like that. I think it's going to be several years, maybe not several, maybe just 2, 3, 4, 5 more years before we get some really solid data. And I think that gap that we have between, let's say, a year ago and 3 years from now, when everything is changing, by the time we get the data, it's already going to be outdated. I'll say that. I mean, I have no idea what to expect from it. As I mentioned, it's not my forte. I am not trained in technology, economics, or anything like that. I can only tell you what I know from maybe some personal experience, what research might say, and what data are reported, and just make some implications the best I can from there. So yeah, as far as AI taking all jobs, I guess then we're going to have AI running AI. Which if you listen to who was it, Mark Andreessen? Mark Andreessen, I think on Rogan last week, he said they've got AI running AI. I think that was a podcast. So, yeah, they've got AI run projects running AI projects running AI projects. So maybe by those standards, it will be taking every job. How is AI going to take jobs? What industry do you work in? It's annoying hearing how the LLMs are self-conscious. Yeah, I don't want to get into, self-consciousness of them and everything. I worked in higher education. It was a research type job. It was a lot of data prepping, data providing, some systems managements and things like that. I don't have any problem with them saying, you know what, we need to make some cuts. We're going to give some of your. They didn't. This is not what I was told, but I can only assume. You know what? We don't need you to do everything. We're going to give a little bit of your work over here. We're going to give a little bit of your work over here, and some of it is just going to be is going to be done more quickly by other departments. And you know what? We can eliminate a couple of jobs here and there. You happen to be one of them. Again, I don't know if that's what I understand, but so yeah, higher education was my field. I would imagine that teachers, if you're teaching, you're probably more safe, right? Because we need live bodies in the classrooms. But unfortunately, my job had nothing to do with teaching. Looking at my notes up here. Oh, I think we've got 11 in the house now. Thanks all for being here. Just as a little bit of context for me, give me, if you don't mind, give me a quick chat. What video prompted you to subscribe? What keeps you to the channel? I know it's a small sample, but those of you who are here are, some of the more meaningful viewers that we have. Obviously, if you're taking this time out of your day. Would you recommend young men to attend higher education? That's a great question. I will answer that by saying I'm glad I went. I did it for different. I've explained this a little bit in some of my very early videos. Why I was so passionate about doing. I didn't complete my PhD until I was, what was I? 42, I think. And I did it for very different reasons. Now, young guys to go to college, I would say probably absolutely not. At least not the traditional four-way or four-year thing. If you want an engineering degree, I would say go advanced degree, and that you're going to have to get those that if you want to be anything meaningful there. But if it's any type of a four-year degree, you can learn more online these days in 6 months than you would ever learn in college. You don't have to spend all your time looking about or learning about cells and all of the humanities. Not that those things, not that they're not important, but you can focus your time and your effort into what you specifically need to be an expert at your job. So in the traditional sense, I would say young men in college, no. Go to get your certificates, do your 2-year training. Talked about this a little bit as well with Dan from Men Need to Be Heard. That's what I recommend. I don't have any sons. I have 3 daughters. But if I had any sons that were at that age leading up into college years or early career, early 20s, that's where I would lead him. One of the things actually that I've had a conversation with at work is, what I think would be a great program for a university, and maybe these exist somewhere. But if we have our HVAC degrees, our automotive repair degrees, electricians, some of those out in the field type degrees, I think that's great. But then when guys are ready to take that into a career, into a business, and to build it, why don't we have 4-year degrees that require some form of a trade degree? You get in there and they teach you how to expand your business, how to do it better, how to address local economics issues. That's what I would love to see for guys. I don't know if that model is out there anywhere. But a guy gets his 2-year degree in one of those very skilled, very well-paying trades. He does it for maybe 10 years. So now he's in his mid-30s. And he's like, you know what? I've been doing this for a long time. I'm freaking good at it. I know what I'm doing. My customers, people trust me. Let me take just 2 more years, go back and make that a 4-year degree and learn how to grow this business so that I can be my own boss. I don't know if that model exists. Who's Delulu? People in IT are being fired left and right. I'm not going to get into a debate about what's happening with AI. I don't know enough about it other than, as I said, a little bit of data here and there, some facts, adding some context of my own. Let me see what else I have on my notes. Got a lot of AI conversation going there. Oh, one other thing. Let me mention this, and then if we don't have a whole lot of questions, anything like that, one thing I do want to mention is, so I mentioned rules of engagement earlier, just a bit ago in this call. It's been a while since I've spoken about rules of engagement in my content. One of the mistakes I made with my channel was taking rules of engagement and actually going through chapter by chapter and giving and making a video for sections of chapters. At the time, my thought, what I was going to do is, hey, you know what, let's take this whole book. I'll put each chapter, maybe 5 or 6 sections into a chapter, and then, I'll just go through the whole thing, and that way people have the whole video for the whole book. That was a bad choice. I should not have done it. Those videos are still up there. I don't know how many there are. There might be about 15 or so of them. I may set those to private or unlisted at some point. They did not perform well. It was a bad choice that I made early on with the channel. But one of the things I'm considering doing with rules of engagement, for a little bit of context, so this is Mastering Masculinity in Relationships Without Permission. It's 14 chapters. I think each one has 10 sections in it. So it's got different topics like It's been a while since I've actually gone through this in a lot of detail. Setting boundaries early, ending disrespect. And then each of the different chapters has supporting theories in research, like emotional suppression research. We've got polarity principle. We've got what else? Self-determination. So it's very theory, a little bit of research, but heavily theory-based on mastering masculinity and relationships. And rather than put this book out for print, it's not available for print. I got a couple of copies just for myself to use as hard copies to edit. I think what I want to do is take the some of the more helpful chapters. And I've also created a field guide. Think of it like a workbook for this. So every chapter in the book has a chapter in a field guide that has a lot of actionable prompts or reflections or writing, assignments, if you will. So I've got the entire workbook. I call it a field guide to accompany this. I think what I wanted to start doing in the upcoming year is taking and just offering one chapter from the book with its corresponding actionable guide material, and offering that so that guys can read this, get the information, and then on their own work through maybe a week or two of the progress and make actionable steps. And the reason I like that I wanted to create that is because I think a lot of guys, when they are ready or they do want to make some changes, they just don't know where to start. And it's, hey, maybe they don't have the discipline, they don't have the outline, and if I can provide some of that and put it in front of guys so that they don't feel overwhelmed and they have some stepping stones, that's why I wanted to create this in the field guide. So I really want to start making that available sometime in the next several months as well. So I don't know what you guys think about that, but look for that coming as well. All right. All right, somebody's Delulu, but it's not me. Bravo, you're Delulu. All right, I'm not going to get involved here. You gentlemen have fun with that. All right, so let me just give a closing message again. If you guys want to, this is in AMA, as I mentioned in the in the lead up to this. If you want to ask me any questions, even a little bit outside this channel, I wouldn't share anything that's ever too deeply personal or risky or anything like that. But if you guys have any channels, or I'm sorry, any questions, while you've got me, let me know. But as we're waiting for that, just want to kind of reiterate that the channel will continue to grow. I'm not dissatisfied with the way that it's grown. We're closing in on 7,000 members after 1 year. I think that's a hell of a deal. I like that progress a lot. And now that I can do this full time, I mean, hell, as I mentioned, I was already putting 30 hours into it with a full-time job. Now, if I'm putting 60 or 70 hours a week into this thing, and giving guys more ways to digest the content, whether it's through Patreon or Substack, I expect it just to kind of continue to grow, and even somewhat exponentially. So I'm really, really looking forward to some growth in year two. And again, as I mentioned, turning it from a passion type project into something that's more serious and viable without losing a lot of my values and what you all came here for in the first place. All right. Listen, again, anybody here that stopped by and has no idea who I am, but just stuck around anyway, heck, thanks for coming. And if you're new here and you want to stick around, I'd love to have you. But those of you who are regulars, you want to find ways to support the channel, look for some changes coming to the YouTube memberships. Look for more action on Patreon. I have been doing a little bit there. I slowed down there in recent weeks as I was preparing to make some changes to the channel. One of the things I don't want to do is start making changes and then decide, oh shit, you know what, I didn't want to do that. And then so part of it is let me get everything organized and clear so that I don't have to make any changes or whatever, and people just start to get pissed off. So Patreon, or if you want to get everything written form sent to your email, sent to your inbox, you want to get my material in that way, that's coming on Substack. In fact, a couple of people have already found me on Substack before I even posted anything on there. So those of you who already subscribed to me on Substack, thank you for being here and for doing that. I will start putting links for that in videos probably in the next 2 weeks or so. You're welcome to go find me there if you want, but I'm not going to start actively like putting those links out anytime soon. Appreciate the work. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Dr. Todd. Well, thank you all for being here. I'm seeing a lot of familiar people from the comments. By the way, when I do see your comments, I read 90% of the comments. So a lot of you, I do see you every time. I don't acknowledge, that I recognize you from one video to the next, but I do. Sometimes maybe it's not healthy for me to read every comment. But one of the things that I've learned, I've spent so much time poring over analytics, comments in real time. When 90% of the time when one of my videos goes live, I'm there watching the analytics in the comments right away. And you'll probably notice if you're one of the early ones on there, there's a very good chance that I'm going to heart, or I'm going to respond to your comment, because one of the reasons I started posting those early, the weekday ones at 6 o'clock is so that I could do that before my formal workday would start. It actually turns out to be a good time slot, 6 o'clock in the morning for release. But I try to be on there as much as I can for the first couple of hours, and then check back again later in the afternoon. But I do that so that I can learn more quickly what people are liking, what are they appreciating. And for those of you who take specific lines or specific pieces of data that I mention, and you say, oh man, this is great, I didn't realize this, and you put that in the comments, that is extremely valuable feedback for me. And that's the reason I obsess almost over comments, at least right now. I expect to continue probably to do that, because it's a great way, one of the best ways I can learn to grow this channel and to make it effective for people. Doc, what problems or problem do you see that men are experiencing that's being ignored? I'll say no father or figure for guidance. If there were one major issue that men are experiencing, I would say it is. I'd say it's the lack of fathers in the home, and you'll notice that whether I talk about education or a lot of different topics, it all comes back to, or the one that I did a couple of weeks ago with the that had clips of the Obama Father's Day speech spread around, about violence, who raised these kids. That's what it all comes back to for me. If we don't have that authority, that masculine presence, those boundaries, and teaching the value of respect, if that's not happening in the house, and then secondary, if it's not happening in the schools, and then tertiary, if it's not happening, getting that support from other places, whether it's courts or career guidance, that I think is I don't know if I want to put a percentage on it, but everything starts with dads in the home. And by the way, I don't know if I've ever said this in a video. I don't mind saying it here, just to be very, very honest, because I don't know how many people are ever going to watch this. I don't have any fucking sympathy for the way society's going right now. I really don't. I don't think I would ever mention this in a regular video, but if schools want to go to hell, if mothers want to struggle, and their kids end up in prison, everything, somebody's going to clip this. I know. I hope not. But I don't give a fuck. I and you, so many of you have been out there saying we can't keep doing this. Why can't I be involved? Why can't dads be involved? And after 40 years of this happening, I no longer give a shit. I don't care what happens in society. That's not to say I don't care about your kids or my kids or any really specific kid. But seriously, what do you want me to do about it? What do you want any of my viewers or anybody here watching right now to do about it? We've been saying it for so long. My take, my personal take, it may not be well received, But go figure out some other way to fix it, and don't make me the problem. Don't make me figure out solutions on how to reduce violence and how to get more guys in college and guys to care more about women. I'm done with all of that. Maybe it's my age, maybe it's my experience, maybe it's just the pragmatic way I go about my business. So I forgot how I got off on that. Oh, well, yeah, what's biggest issue? I think it's dads in the home. Or to a wider extent, dads anywhere, or men anywhere. Not that I don't fall at all for the misconception in the lies that men are checking out of, or men walk out on relationships and children. I think extremely overwhelmingly they are forced out, they are pushed out, they get pissed, and then they're like, fuck you then. I don't know, you don't want me, I'm not coming back, I'll go find something else to do. I'm over it. I'm shocked by how the government incentivizes women, to destroy. Yeah. I don't know, as far as layers, hey, when it comes to courts incentivizing women to divorce and to maintain sole custody, I don't know if I'm at a place where, and maybe I never will be, at a place in which I can put those, into respective layers, who's more responsible, anything like that. I just put them all in one bucket and say, you know what? You can all go to hell. I'm just put you in this bucket and then kick it over. I don't know. That's what it boils down to. Bitter, bitter, bitter. I'm not sure I understand the context there. I don't know if we got a troll or recap what they sow in essence. Yep. Reap what they sow. All right, listen, everybody. I don't expect a lot of views on this, but if you think of something later and you want to come back and write a comment in here as a follow-up, or anything that we've talked about, suggestions for other topics, let me know. Members, I'll probably be giving you, I don't know, maybe two behind-the-scenes type stuff, maybe some additional content, probably about twice a week. I'll be a little bit more regular with that as I intended to be. But now that I have more time, obviously, I can do that. Yeah. Looks like we do have a feminist in the chat. I'm all right with that. In fact, I think I've seen, I could be mistaken, who's that, Sherry Berry, something like that? I don't know I can't see your name. I don't have my glasses on. I think I've seen you around. All right, that said, y'all, y'all have a great rest of your day. I actually need to record, edit, and post tomorrow's video. My Sundays, I like them to come out to release at like 10 o'clock on Sundays. So I still have to record that and edit it, get it out sometime tonight. So I'm going to let you all go here. Thank you all tremendously. I say it all the time to the members. I'm really looking forward to year 2 and for you being part of the process. And I hope that the growth that you see over the next, I'm hoping to start some of these things pretty soon, but certainly over the next 12 months, that I hope you appreciate the growth that's coming. So thank you all being here. I will keep killing it. Thank you very much. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day. I got to go get busy. See ya.